Welcome to Business English Podcast. Today we're going really deep into a topic
Oh, yeah.
that everyone in the professional world needs.
Absolutely.
Mastering the art of the apology. So we'll be looking at one specific episode called Episode 40, Business English Speaking Skills.
Yeah.
Professional Apology Mastery.
Right.
From the Leadership Communication Podcast.
Interesting.
You know, you might think,
Yeah.
oh, I already know how to apologize.
Right.
But there's a lot more to it,
Absolutely.
especially in a business setting.
Oh, yeah, much more.
So by the end of this deep dive,
Oh, yeah.
you'll have all the tools you need
Okay.
to apologize with confidence
Interesting.
for anything from small mistakes to huge disasters.
Wow.
What I thought was so interesting
Yeah.
is how this episode emphasizes how important your voice is,
Oh, really?
like an instrument.
Huh.
It's not just saying the words, I'm sorry,
Right.
but using vocal techniques to show you're sincere, rebuild trust, and even make relationships stronger.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it was like a new language.
Okay.
The language of being sorry, professionally. Of course.
Right.
And we're going to break it down into pieces.
Okay.
First, we'll look at the first few seconds of an apology. Then how to explain mistakes without making excuses.
Yeah.
And then cross-cultural apologies.
Okay.
Which can be tricky.
Yeah.
So this episode starts off by talking about what they call the AAA approach.
Interesting.
Acknowledge, articulate, and anchor.
Got it.
And how using your voice
Yeah.
to really get these across in the first 7 seconds of your apology
Right.
can totally determine if it works or not.
Wow, 7 seconds.
Like if you mess up a presentation or miss a deadline,
Yeah.
those first few seconds
Right.
are when you can make a good impression and start a good conversation.
Interesting.
So it's not just the words,
Oh.
but how you say them.
Yeah, I see.
That first impression sets the tone,
Right.
like the first scene in a movie. Yeah.
And it actually gets even more interesting. The episode says that making an apology is like composing music.
What?
Yeah. You have to think about the rhythm, the pauses, where you put the emphasis.
Right.
It all has to flow together.
Yeah.
So people can feel your sincerity.
I see. That's a great comparison.
Yeah.
It's like finding the right tempo. You don't want to rush it,
Right.
but you don't want to drag it out either.
And you don't want to sound fake.
Right. Exactly.
So true. And also your style should change
Yeah.
depending on the situation.
Okay.
Like what works at a startup
Yeah.
might not work in a more traditional company. So you have to know the industry.
Yeah.
And also who has more power.
That makes sense. Like apologizing to your boss is totally different from apologizing to a coworker.
Absolutely.
It's like you have to admit you made a mistake,
Right.
but also
Yeah.
stay professional.
You have to find a balance.
Yeah, you do.
For sure.
It's between being sorry and staying confident.
Right.
You don't want to sound weak,
Yeah.
but you can't just ignore the problem either.
Right. Wow, this is making me think
Oh, yeah.
about how I've apologized in the past. I've definitely messed up like that.
We all have.
Yeah.
But that's why we're doing this deep dive, right?
Exactly.
To get better at it.
Yeah.
And we can't forget about virtual apologies these days.
Oh, right.
Trying to sound sincere online
Yeah.
adds a whole other layer.
It's hard
It is.
because a lot of communication is nonverbal,
Right.
and you lose that on a video call.
Yeah. And this episode talks about how to make up for that by using your voice effectively online.
So there's like
A specific tone that's best for video calls. Interesting.
And it's different from in person.
So much to think about.
Right.
Even just those first 7 seconds.
Right.
And changing your tone
Yeah.
based on who you're talking to
So true.
is a lot to work with.
It is.
What did you find most interesting in this first part?
I thought the comparison to music was amazing.
Yeah.
It really shows that a good apology
Right.
is something you think about carefully,
Yeah.
not just something you say quickly.
No.
And those first 7 seconds were a big surprise. Those first few moments are crucial.
Yeah.
What about you?
I agree about the music thing. It really stuck with me. It's like we're composing a whole symphony of apology
I like that.
and how you have to change your approach
Yeah.
based on the situation.
So important.
It's really important.
Yeah.
I can't wait to
Me
see
too.
how to put these techniques into practice. But
Right.
first, we got to figure out how to explain mistakes
Okay.
without making excuses.
Yeah.
That's up next.
Great. Okay, so we talked about the first 7 seconds, but then what? Yeah. How do you explain what you did wrong without getting defensive or blaming other people? Yeah. That's where it gets tricky.
I bet.
The episode talks about the voice of leadership paradox.
Okay, what's that?
It's like this. Yeah. You got to take responsibility, but also keep your authority. Yeah. You know, stay credible as a leader.
So how do you do that?
It's a tough balance. Yeah. You don't want to look weak. Right. But you can't just act like the problem doesn't matter.
Exactly.
So the episode gives some strategies for finding that balance. One they talk about is data delivery diplomacy.
Data delivery diplomacy.
Yeah.
Sounds kind of technical.
It is.
What does it mean?
So think about this.
Okay.
You have to apologize for something complicated. Okay. Like numbers or technical stuff. Yeah. It's easy to sound like a robot. Oh, yeah. When you explain that. Like you're just reading a presentation. Yeah. And that sounds detached, insincere.
Not good.
No.
So like, you're not really owning the mistake.
Exactly.
You're just giving information without emotion.
Data delivery diplomacy is about putting some feeling into your explanation.
I see.
You're still giving the facts, but you're connecting with people on an emotional level.
So it's like clarity, but also empathy. You're not hiding the problem.
No.
But you're not just throwing numbers around.
Yeah. Yeah, you get it.
I think so.
And the episode also says pacing is important here.
Oh, yeah.
Talking too fast makes you sound nervous. Talking too slow sounds condescending or fake.
So like Goldilocks.
Exactly.
Not too fast, not too slow.
Right.
You have to guide people through the information clearly, confidently, sincerely.
You got it. Oh, and another thing. Yeah. How you phrase the apology changes. Okay. Depending on if you're taking the blame yourself or for a whole team.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
It's different to say, I messed up than we made a mistake.
Exactly. There's a way to say it where you're accountable, but not undermining your authority.
Right.
Or throwing your team under the bus.
Yeah.
And the episode even talks about crisis communication.
Oh, wow.
Like when things go really wrong and you have to fix it fast.
I think everyone's been there.
Oh, yeah.
At some point.
For sure.
Something blows up.
Yeah. And you gotta stay calm.
Right.
Even if you're freaking out inside.
Easier said than done.
I know. But they talk about breathing techniques.
Really?
Yeah, like the ones crisis management experts use.
Wow.
To keep their voice steady.
So they sound calm.
Exactly.
Even under pressure.
Yeah, I think it was called the 4-beat emergency pattern or something like that.
I'll have to look that up.
The main thing is slow down your breathing. It helps your heart rate.
Right.
Keeps your voice from shaking.
Makes sense.
Yeah, when you're anxious, you breathe too fast.
Right.
Your voice gets shaky.
Yeah.
Or high-pitched.
So deep breaths help you sound more confident.
Yeah. And it's not just the initial apology. You have to follow up.
Okay.
Rebuild trust over time.
So it's like showing that you're taking it seriously and you're going to fix it.
Right. They talk about keeping your tone consistent, sounding both authoritative and empathetic while you give updates and share progress.
So you're not just saying it.
Right.
You're showing it.
Exactly. And they even have this thing called the echo technique.
Interesting.
Where you like briefly mention your initial apology in later conversations. Yeah. It reminds people that you're professional and committed to doing better.
Without dwelling on it.
Right.
Or making it awkward.
Yeah. Like if you missed a deadline, you could say later, like I said before, I'm going to hit these deadlines from now on.
Right.
And I've got a new system to make sure of it.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's subtle.
It is.
But it shows you're serious without rehashing everything.
Yeah. It's about proving with your actions and your words that you learned from it.
And you're doing better.
Right. Speaking of doing better, the next part is about cross-cultural apologies.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
That's where it gets really tricky.
I know.
What works here might not work somewhere else.
Right.
It could even be offensive. Yeah. Especially in global business.
It's easy to mess up.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Big time. It's like a minefield. The episode actually tells this story about this guy, this executive from New York, who really messed up.
Oh, no.
An apology.
Really?
Yeah.
What happened?
He was apologizing to his Japanese business partners, and he thought he was being, efficient and direct, but they thought he was rude and insensitive. Because in Japan, you're supposed to be more indirect and pay attention to nonverbal cues.
That's a good example.
It is.
Of how cultural differences can cause problems.
For sure.
Even if your words are right. Your delivery could be wrong.
Yeah.
Totally different message.
And it gets even more complicated. The episode talks about the global resonance principle.
Okay, what's that?
It says that pauses, how fast you talk, stuff like that can mean different things in different cultures.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
What might seem thoughtful here could seem hesitant somewhere else.
Absolutely.
We forget how much we rely,
on our own way of communicating. So true.
It's like we're speaking different dialects of apology. I like that. So to deal with this, the episode talks about the cultural bridge technique. What's that?
It's about changing your voice to connect with different people from different cultures.
So you build rapport.
Exactly.
That's cool.
It is.
But let's get into some real-world examples. I'm ready for those tricky situations.
Good.
The episode promised.
So first up, the premium product predicament.
What's that?
Imagine you're on a video call with your biggest client, and their super expensive product is not working right.
Oh, no.
Everyone's stressed. The client is mad.
And you got to fix it.
Fast.
That sounds awful.
It is.
What do you do?
The episode suggests the triple V technique.
Okay. What's that?
It's about using your voice in a strategic way to get the conversation back on track.
So what are the 3 V's?
Volume, velocity, and variance.
I see. So how do those work?
First, you adjust your volume. Speak a little louder to get their attention. Project confidence.
But not too loud.
Right. Not aggressive. Then you change your velocity. Slow down a bit. To emphasize important points and sound calm. And finally, variance. Change your tune to show concern. But also that you're going to solve the problem.
It's amazing how subtle changes can make a big difference.
Totally.
So you're not just saying,
sorry, we'll fix it.
Right.
You're showing it with your voice.
Confidence and commitment.
Exactly. And then they talk about the budget bombshell when you got to explain that you went over budget or missed a financial goal.
Not fun.
Nope. And for that, they suggest vocal stepping.
Vocal stepping.
Yeah.
What's that?
It's like this.
Okay.
You delivered the bad news. Clearly indirectly.
Right.
But you still sound in control.
Okay.
You use your voice to guide them through the problem.
To the solution.
Step by step.
Okay.
Pausing strategically. Changing your tone.
To emphasize things.
Exactly.
And sound in control. So you're not panicking.
Right.
Not blaming anyone. Just calm and confident.
That's it.
I like it.
Me too.
What other situations?
Oh, they cover a bunch.
Yeah.
Apologizing for your team without making them feel bad.
Okay.
Cascade apologies.
What are those?
When one problem causes a bunch of others.
Oh, yeah.
And missed deadlines, of course.
So there's a technique for everything.
Pretty much.
But it's not just about the apology itself.
Yeah.
You got to follow up. Rebuild trust.
Yeah.
Show that you're making changes.
With your actions.
Yeah.
That's key.
It is.
And if you really want to get good, they even talk about technical stuff.
Oh, like what?
Like the 5 frequencies of professional remorse and how to sound like a leader, not weak or unsure.
So there's a science to how our voices work?
Yeah.
An apology is a piece of music.
Every part has to be right.
To get the effect you want.
Exactly. And for that, they give techniques for breath control, like the triple P technique.
Triple P.
Oh.
And projects.
I'm learning so much.
Me too.
This has been an amazing deep dive.
It has.
I feel like I know a whole new language now.
The language of apology.
Exactly.
It's not just about admitting fault.
No.
It's about leadership. Building relationships. Making work better for everyone.
That's a great way to put it.
Thanks.
So for our listeners who want to get better at this, what's your advice?
I'd say pay attention to your voice.
Okay.
Record yourself.
Uh-huh.
Practicing an apology. Then listen back.
Right.
How does it sound? Your tone. Your pace.
Okay.
Your pauses.
Right.
Are you getting your message across?
Then try these techniques. See what works for you.
Great advice.
Thanks.
And remember, getting good at apologizing takes time.
It does.
It's a journey, not a destination.
Well said.
Keep practicing.
Yeah.
Stay curious, and you'll be surprised at how much better you get.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
For this deep dive into the world of apologies.
It's been fun.
It has. Don't forget to subscribe to the Business English Podcast for more episodes like this. We love hearing from you.
We do.
So leave a comment.
Yeah.
Share this episode. And give us a like.
If you found it helpful.
Until next time.
Bye, everyone.